I've got easy intro bit this week.
Excellent.
Easy intro bit. Because yesterday, one of those mawkish fucking flowers from Super Mario Wonder came into my possession.
Oh.
So,
the little talking flower.
yeah, it's just content, isn't it? Because you press a button and it chats inane shit at you.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sure does.
I'm good.
She sure does. I've never worked out who it is. My headcanon is that it's Eileen from the Come On Eileen.
She went down to the beach to rinse off.
Exactly. Yeah. Wanted it cleaned off, but still wanted some salty memories.
Right.
So into the ocean she goes.
I mean, I prefer your talking flower to mine.
Prayer for any time and before meditation.
That's true. This one isn't part of a cult that I know of. Well, I mean, I've had some dealings with some Nintendo fans before, and jury's out.
Yeah. Yours doesn't tell you about the most powerful daily prayer for mindfulness or whatever it was.
He's not mentioned it yet. I'm hoping he will. I will press the button again.
Have you had lunch yet?
I haven't, and I'm actually quite hungry. So there, well, he's useful.
Yeah.
I'll never miss Podquisition again until the batteries run out and I can't be bothered to replace it because I'm well over it by then. Because he says the time every hour.
Ah. That wouldn't get annoying immediately.
No, but the thing is, because this is Nintendo, sometimes, apparently, he's not done it yet, sometimes he'll get the hour wrong. So don't rely on it for important fucking life events or like your job or anything.
I mean, if you are relying on the Nintendo talking flower to get you through important life events, I don't know if it was designed for important life events.
I don't think it was. I think it was designed to be a bit of overpriced tat, if I'm honest.
I'll say this. You talked about the potential of yours running out of batteries. My talking flower, which equally I've kept in reach of my desk for some reason, is solar powered. That's an advantage. Nintendo didn't
true.
solar power their flower.
And they really could have. They could have solar powered this.
Yeah.
Plus, I've just stuck my finger in, and its round maw is there's not enough space in there to stick my dick in it. Which you get, like, that reduces some of the value I saw in it, unfortunately. I'm going to see what else it wants to say.
Feeling pretty great.
I would be relieved as well if I found out that I wasn't going to give me a blowjob this afternoon. People have, because I showed this to folks on Blue Sky, and people are convinced it sounds like Jonathan Holmes. Multiple people have said, it doesn't sound like it to me, but...
Not the tone of voice, but the softness of the delivery. There is something in the very calming way it speaks that I'm like, not Jonathan Holmes, but like a Jonathan Holmes character, like the cartoon adaptation of Jonathan Holmes might sound like that.
I guess it's the same way Elsa Farron does an impression of me, because I've never heard anyone do an accurate impersonation of me. Elsa's come closest. They don't get the actual like pitch and tone of the voice, but the delivery is unlike any I've heard in terms of actually getting me
It's
down.
a Holmesian mannerism, if not a Holmesian voice.
Yes, I would agree with that. It's fairly close to the bad impersonation I do of him.
Perfect weather for a nap, huh?
See, the more you play it, the more I'm going, I hear where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Ooh, so exciting.
Welcome to Podquisition. We're here.
Why did they put this in Super Mario Wonder? Why are these flowers everywhere? Because they're not really funny. And they don't have, like, much of a personality beyond just sort of slightly simpering.
They did eventually make the voice lines disableable.
Oh, that's fun. I could see people turning that off. To be honest, the only one I saw of value was after the kind of iconic piranha plant singing level. The one that just says you don't see that every day afterwards.
Yeah.
I thought was quite comically placed. Other than that, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't find them too annoying, really. I don't have a major problem with them, but that's the thing. I've got no problem nor affinity with them. I don't know what they were hoping for with them. Like, would people fall in love with these things, or what?
I mean, and I'll probably jump into this in a second, having seen the new Mario movie that came out today, Nintendo really does seem to be in an era of throw cute characters at the wall and see which ones will stick.
Ah.
They're really trying to find new cute characters to go like, is this anything? Is this anything?
I suppose it's something. I suppose it's nice to see some companies in games trying to introduce some new characters to the mix instead of just going back to the nostalgia well constantly, even if it results in mawkish talking flowers.
Well, the problem is that they have to do it within the context of an existing intellectual property and
There
brand.
is that. Yeah, even as I was saying, yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah. It'd be better if they just made something new. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool. That would be cool.
It would be, but they've not done that.
They've not done that.
I saw that Mario movie this morning,
Yeah.
and I want to talk about it.
Yeah, how was that? How was that?
I've heard nothing but bad.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
it's not as bad as the reviews I saw. Like, I saw a review from, I think, The Times, where their lead line was, more painful to watch than AI slop.
Mm.
Oh.
And I was like, that's a fucking claim to make.
Yeah.
They've clearly not seen enough fucking AI trash to make that claim. This was a coherent film with a story that at points tried to say something and that was consistent from shot to shot. Like, weren't getting characters being off model every 6 seconds because they needed a cut. This is not worse than AI. Here's what I will say about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. First of all, if you've played Mario Galaxy, do not expect Mario Galaxy to be in any way the plot of what you're about to see. The Mario Galaxy element is, it's in space. Space exists. It's a very much a mix match of, like, every idea from a Mario game you remember kind of smushed together. I don't know what they do narratively after this, because they've done all the things now. There's a bit of it where it's Yoshi's Island. You've got Bowser Jr. with the paintbrush from Mario Sunshine. They go to the desert planet from Mario Odyssey. Kind of everything is happening all at once, and also kind of it's the Nintendo universe happening movie, because also it's a Star Fox movie and a Pikmin movie, kind of.
Oh, they're doing what Space Jam and a bunch of others did, where it's like, let's just throw as much IP into this fucking thing as possible.
It's not that bad. I wanna pull myself back. It's not Space Jam bad.
Yeah.
The Pikmin stuff is some Pikmin get off a ship at one point in a little ship port, and it's like, oh, I guess Pikmin exist in the Mario universe.
Okay, it's very much trying to do a sort of shared universe type of thing.
And
though.
the Star Fox thing is Fox McCloud, like, spoilers, but I don't think anyone needs to care about spoilers for this film. Fox McCloud is a major character and fairly consistently present party member in this film.
Oh.
What a strange pull.
So, 100%, it's because there were rumors about a month ago from a pretty prominent Nintendo leaker that the big AAA game for Switch 2 this year that hasn't been announced yet is a big story-heavy Star Fox game. And 100% this is to get children excited about Fox McCloud as a character.
Oh.
They're doing the bit where they introduce a character to the Mario movie that doesn't really need to be there to get kids excited when the game comes out.
Right.
Fox McCloud, they make a point of saying, canonically, he is not from the Mario universe. He got pulled through a wormhole and he'll go home by the end of this film. But he's here to get you excited about Star Fox as a character. And admittedly, he's well handled. Watching that bit did make me go, I'd watch a Star Fox film, probably.
Fuck, that's so unbelievable. Like, okay, look, I mean, I know I should not have an expectation, but that is so incredibly cynical to shove Star Fox in there ahead of the Star Fox game. What are we watching, The Wizard?
Well, it's in space, and they gotta get to Bowser Jr., who's on the other side of space. We gotta hire a pilot who's gonna be our
Your
guy
Han
with the
Solo.
Millennium
Yeah,
Falcon.
yeah.
Who's gonna be your Han Solo? It's Fox McCloud. Someone's gonna tell him to do a barrel roll at one point, you can bet ya.
Fuck, oh my god. No, this is worse than AI slop, because here's the thing. AI slop, it's not sustainable for more than like 90 seconds. this.
Okay. So, the thing about this, there are things I like about this film. The things I enjoy about it. First of all, this is going to wind up the anti-woke gamer bros. All of the good fight scenes are given to the princesses. At no point does a man have a competent fight scene. The women get to have, like, very well animated, large scale, they are very competent fight scenes that the men just simply do not get.
I've got to wonder if there's cynicism behind that too, not from the whole, what the nerdses would call pandering, but actually exploiting the nerdses themselves.
Yeah, for Streisand
people,
effect.
they talked so much about that first Mario film with the girl boss princess. Wow.
Oh no, they're gonna hate this. They're gonna hate watching Princess Peach fight off like literally thousands of enemies solo with her umbrella in the casino or whatever.
Right. So yeah,
like a genuinely well animated fight scene. It was a lot of fun to watch, but it's gonna piss some nerds off.
They are gonna absolutely be screaming girl boss for the next few weeks.
The bit of the plot that I enjoyed is nothing to do with Mario and co. The thing I enjoyed is that at the core of this, there is a story that is fundamentally Bowser is kind of considering reforming from his villainous ways, and his son is who he's been estranged with is like, no, I remember the bedtime stories you told me about, like, blowing up entire planets and genociding the universe. Dad, let's go do that! And a dad realizing he's kind of drifted apart from his son in what they want in life. Like, there's kind of an interesting story there that doesn't have room to breathe because there's a billion things that have to happen all the time. It's an enjoyable and well-made roller coaster of a film. Nothing in it is going to be particularly memorable. It doesn't really have the time to tell a story that's going to be, like, emotionally engaging. But if you just want an ADHD-fueled, throwing a lot of colourful shit at you, and jokes and very fast-moving, we go and adventure, go! I had a fun enough time with it. Like, it's not a good film, but it's a film I had a fun time with. I wasn't bored during it. It was cynical and a bit cameo heavy, but like it wasn't a terrible time.
That's the thing that worries me about these video game movies is that they will be just mediocre. Yeah, just mediocre enough to slip in their marketing and all their nonsense and make some money, and I don't know, that just really concerns me.
I watched this in a room full of children because, I was watching at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. Who's going to be there but a room full of parents with young children?
And that's the target audience.
And 100%, this is going to be a generation of children's favourite film. You could fucking hear, like, anytime something tense happened, every tiny voice in that room in unison going, like, they were locked in. This film is 100%, like, laser targeted to have these children, like, absolutely fucking obsessed with it.
Oh, I liked garbage when I was a kid too, so.
Yeah, this is very effective. This is gonna be your kid's favorite piece of garbage.
I mean, we gotta remember as well, like, a lot of films that are looked back fondly by adults now were fucking slated by adults back then.
And they were right.
Well, like, you find a lot of people that would, like, look at the Dennis movie with Walter Matthau in it and say, like, I remember watching that and enjoying it when I was younger. But, reviews at the time absolutely fucking shat on it. Yeah, I agree with you completely, Laura. Like, years from now, like, there will be people who are kids here. Like, I loved that film.
Right.
Watching it from a cynical perspective, I can 100% see what this film does for Nintendo, which is, I think for a lot of children who, like, the thing they do is play Roblox and Fortnite and that's all they play, there is a generation of kids for whom Nintendo is the kids' console. It is not the cool set of franchises to play. This, I think, does a decent job for that audience from a very cynical perspective of making these characters cool in a way that is probably going to translate to a degree of, ooh, I'll play a Mario game. I liked the film. The film was good. I want to play the game. It is going to be a very effective marketing tool for these characters as things that these children are going to be very emotionally attached to and might move them away from other franchises. It is very cynical in what it is, but I was watching it going, I've had way more boring times watching films. If you just got a bit high and wanted to watch some fun colours happen at you, there are far worse things you could be doing than this film that if you watch it sober, you are going to go, yeah, no, 100% those rumours about the Star Fox game are 100% correct. This is a giant advert for a game they're going to announce probably like a week from now, I expect. I see exactly what you're doing.
I mean, what can I say? Like, I hate it now, but, like, I still... If we want to talk about getting high and watching films, like, I will still watch the animated Transformers movie that killed Optimus Prime to usher in a new series of toys. Because the executives understood children so little, they didn't realise that the kids would be upset that Optimus Prime, their hero, was killed slowly and ignominiously in front of them. To the point where when they later released the film on video, they had to add a voiceover saying Optimus Prime will return. You know, I still like that film, and it was still good, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've said before, children these days don't know how fucking swindled they are, because, you know, TV would try and sell me a Megatron, which is cool, and YouTube is selling kids fucking Prime energy drinks.
Oh, and there's something about having enough respect for your audience of children that you would present them with that scenario and have,
absolutely,
you know, a story with stakes and things like that. Yeah.
I'm a big believer that children's films can certainly, like, do better than this. Recently saw the Pixar film Hoppers. For any problems I have with that film had a protagonist who was a young child who was willing to risk getting exploded by dynamite to stand in the face of government to not have animal habitats destroyed. I'm like, yeah, you can do interesting stuff for kids. It doesn't have to be transparent, cynical slop, but if it's transparent, cynical slop, this was fun, transparent, cynical slop. There is something really interesting about this film that's just dawned on me, which is I talked about the fact that all of the good fight scenes are given to the princesses. The post-credit scene teasing what they're going to do with future films is also setting up another princess. It sets up Princess Daisy. And I don't know what I make of that right now, but 100% this gives female audiences get way more of the cool moments. There's something interesting there that I've not put a finger on yet.
I genuinely... I wouldn't stake anything on it, but I do genuinely feel like the nerdsy hate machine can be advantageous.
Mm-hmm. Because it's predictable.
Yeah, and it doesn't just have them talking about it, then the response videos come out, and it could well be big business.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how this lines up, and we know that probably around the same time as whenever this gets an eventual sequel is probably going to line up with the fourth Sonic film, which is centering around Amy. There's something there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a time watching it. There were a couple of genuine laugh-out-loud jokes. There was an interesting plot that didn't have room to breathe, and some great voice acting performances. But it was just strap yourself in and watch the roller coaster happen. Better than the first one, nothing memorable.
Better than the first one? Because that was the one that was critically acclaimed.
You see, because I didn't think the first one was that bad, actually.
Yeah, that one people loved.
Like, it had problems, but it was not terrible.
Here's why I would say this is better than the first one. The first one's biggest problem that this does avoid is the first one felt like it spent a lot of its time trying to introduce to you characters that everyone already knows. It spent too much of its time trying to introduce this is who Mario and Peach are, and too long trying to wrestle with do we acknowledge video games or not. Like, Mario has to have a training sequence that is a side-scrolling platforming level. It had a weird relationship to can we just tell a story or do we have to explain the Mario setting and why he does the video game things he does in the video games and how that makes sense for Mario from Brooklyn. This gets past all that and gets into telling a story quicker, and I think it benefits a lot from that. From not feeling the need to stop and explain, this is who a Bowser is, Bowser's the bad one.
I can see that.
This is a lot more to the point than the first one. Even if it's fundamentally, a lot of the humour is the same, a lot of the visual spectacle is the same, a lot of the pacing is the same. it scrapes off a lot of the more awkward, we are a video game adaptation and we don't know how much to acknowledge that the first one had. And I think that it is a better film for that.
Oh, well, that is an interesting take.
If you watched the first one and went, yeah, it wasn't bad, I think this is, at the very least, an equal amount of, yeah, you probably won't have a worse time with this.
Fair enough. Speaking of Jack Black, right?
Yeah.
Who is in that film. I learned about another Jack Black film this morning. Yeah, sometimes I look at...
Which one?
Well, it's interesting. I was scrolling through, sometimes, I went very early in the morning when I can't fucking be asked to move. I will scroll through my TV's, inbuilt, movie recommendations and things, just to see what weird stuff I can see, because it recommends some absolute fucking shite. I didn't know that last year, a film came out about Jack Black and Paul Rudd remaking Anaconda.
Oh, I
the
saw
90s
that.
Film. Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't seem like anyone liked it, but I kind of want to watch it.
It's enjoyable bad. You'll have a good time with it.
Yeah, because I'm okay.
It's kind of stupid. It's kind of ridiculous.
I am very tempted. I may go for that.
I went and watched it because I've got a go to the cinema as much as you want pass, so I was like, fuck it, it's Thursday afternoon, why not? It's audacious. It is audacious in a way that I kind of have to respect.
See, I'm okay with that, and that's what I thought. Looking at it, I'm like, this is such... Audacious is the word. This is an audaciously stupid prospect. What has been dumped in front of me like a cat with a dead bird.
I was very unsure what I felt about it, and then the third act arrives, and I went, okay, you sold me the premise, I understand why you made this stupid film.
Okay, I will probably make time at some point to look at it then, because, the premise alone is so fucking dumb.
Yeah. So what about you both? You been playing anything this week?
Steph, why don't you go? I think you've probably done more than I have.
So I played 5 minutes of that new 2D Legacy of Kain game.
There's a new 2D Legacy of Kain game?
There's a 2D Legacy of Kain game. 5 minutes was all it took to tell me that I would not like it. I didn't get on with it. It's one of them ones where it's there's certain 2D combat games where they want you to parry and dodge, but there's just not enough cancelling on the attacks, and it feels out of sync. And that's how I felt with it. I felt way out of sync with it. Apparently, people who are playing it are not responding well to it, so it might not just be me, but I've not looked at user reviews and stuff on it. But apparently it's not being received well. I got it because it was in a bundle with what I had been previously interested in, which was the remaster of Legacy of Kain Defiance. Because I had some fond memories of playing that way back in the day. I was quite looking forward to it, and then someone on my Discord said that, they used AI in the remaster process, Gen AI, which is just a goddamn fucking shame, I've played it a bit, and, I've got the nostalgia there, but, obviously, if they've used AI, fuck them. The people who remastered that are fucking hacks.
That franchise is one that I have tried so many times to engage with, because I think that the setting and characters are stuff that I would just absolutely love if I dug in deep enough. But every single one of those games has some kind of aspect of it that I just find tedious or frustrating, and I've never finished one. I've probably played almost every Legacy of Kain game, and not finished one of them.
That I can see. I actually haven't played all of them. I never had a Dreamcast back in the day, so I never did Soul Reaver. I did get the remaster of it, but I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. I did boot up Defiance just because I've got some actual sort of nostalgia for that one. But yeah, I agree. Like, of the ones I've played, the first one especially has its issues.
Mm-hmm.
I have started that game many times. I love its presentation. I love how talkative it is. I love that the wonderful voice actor of Kain, who I believe reprises his role in Defiance, has something to say about everything and is so hammy with it. I like in Defiance that Tony Jay's in it. It's always lovely to hear Tony Jay's voice. But yeah, there is a tedium to the ones I've played, especially that first one. It is very fucking ponderous and slow and clumsy for all of the great presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a shame, but that is how it goes. Just quickly, I'll also mention that Limited Run brought out a collection of Marvel beat-em-ups that I've been playing as well. It's got the X-Men arcade game where Magneto says "Welcome to Die," which is always a laugh to look at, and a bunch of others like the Ultimate Carnage or Maximum Carnage from that was on the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo.
I liked that one, despite it being a bad game. Like,
Mhm.
fun game, bad game.
It is a bad game. I remember when I was first dicking around with emulation many years ago. That was among the ones I downloaded, and I was like, this is shit. But it's got its charm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have read a fair bit of the Maximum Carnage / I can't remember what, I think it was called Maximum Carnage, the actual storyline.
Yeah.
From the Marvel comics. And it is fun just how faithful it is. Like, you know, starting off with you fighting like Shriek and the Doppelganger and stuff like that. The little comic book cutscenes in between levels, they're very cute. It is a cute game, a very not a good game. There's some others as well. There's Captain America and the Avengers, an old arcade game.
That one is pretty good, at least the arcade version.
I find it very charming. They've got the arcade and console versions. Like, this one is one of the more robust limited run collections that they brought out. I love how it's a very camp game.
Mm-hmm.
Both in terms, like, the music, very camp. The voices that are in it are fucking camp. And the way Vision is animated is so almost offensive. If the character had been gay, it would have been really offensive. The way he shimmies and poses and, like, everything about it is so fucking camp. I love it. There's a couple of others. There's another Spider-Man one and the X-Men Arcade Revenge, which I haven't touched yet. It's fine. Solid collection, you know. It is what you want if you just want to play those old games and you want to pay money for them. They are.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
What about you, Conrad? What you been playing?
It is still just Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Yeah,
and I'm at a point now. I'm guessing I'm probably a little more than 2/3 of the way through the game, and you know the way it's organized, you have like these 3 large sections of the game that have, you know, a whole bunch of quests, and you're going to spend a lot of time in these regions, and I'm in the 3rd of these. I don't think there's a 4th, judging by the map size, but and this is the part where the game really sort of digs itself in and says, all right, you're going to be here a long time, and it's going to be bleak and not fun. Have fun. And it's like, yeah, all right. It's interesting because at this point in the game, you have been given some elements that take some of the burden off of your shoulders in the building, and then they put more of it back on. Like, they took some of it away, and then it's like, you know, they'll get all of the supplies for you to build the stuff that they need to build for these really large projects. And then you get to this region, and it's like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. You got to go get the resources. So we'll still build it, but you got to go get all of the supplies. And that's weird and unnecessary and not even difficult. Like, it doesn't really add anything to it except the tedium of having to perform these extra steps. Which is weird. But yeah, I'm still having fun with it. I just need to push through this section, and then I can get back to my main island and start, like, actually building all the stuff I want to build instead of being limited. Really, the only reason I am here is because I need it to get access to another small island that will give me access to a resource I need to make an item I want. That's it. That's the only reason I'm doing this now. But it's been hours.
Yes.
5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But good game, fun. I don't really have anything more significant to add to it, but fun game. I'm having fun.
I've played a few other things I can crack through. So I played through all in one sitting Life is Strange Reunion last week.
I have heard complex things about this too.
Yeah, this is one that putting my biases on the table. I was credited for doing accessibility work on the previous game in the series, so biases, etc. People were, I think, rightly concerned this game was going to be terrible, given that 0 review copies were given out before launch day. Which is generally not a good sign, but generally, I didn't come out of it going, oh, I see why they held back review code. If anything, I am surprised that they did so. It's a little fan-servicey, for sure, but I think it does an interesting job of giving some finality to the initial characters in the series. So the gist of this one is you're playing as Max from the first one, and for anyone who didn't play the first Life is Strange, you witness this girl called Chloe get shot to death in a school bathroom. You realize you've got time rewinding powers. You keep rewinding time, and ultimately the universe basically goes, hey, either save her and have a whole town get wiped out by a tornado, or save the town, but let her get shot in that bathroom in the beginning. Colloquially known by fans as Bay versus Bay. This new game brings back Chloe, whether she was alive or dead in your ending of the first one. That is something I was very cautious of how it would be handled. The short version of how they handle it is, the previous game in the series, Double Exposure, involved hopping between alternative timelines in a different try and stop a friend getting murdered story. And the solution at the end was that you smushed both timelines into being one timeline. And that has caused some problems. Initially, what it seems to have done for you is the timeline in which the town of Arcadia Bay and the timeline where Chloe is alive, where both of them are safe, are now one timeline. That seems great. Unless you're Chloe at the midpoint of that, who can remember both timelines simultaneously, and is being thrown through weird hallucinations outside of her control, where she's, like, witnessing a town dead that she knows to be alive, witnessing her own death over and over. So, like, yay, she's alive and the town's alive, but it's not without consequence that both are coexisting. And I think that's interesting. I think if you're going to revisit that choice, have there be a consequence for re-exploring that. I think that this game could be clearer about some of its mechanics. Unlike previous games in the Life is Strange series, this one is a mystery game in which, explicitly, you are trying to solve a couple of mysteries, and you need to be looking around for interactables in scenes that might be clues that later will let you solve a mystery. And it is entirely possible to progress through scenes not picking up the optional clues. That has not been a mechanic historically in the series, and I think it would benefit people to know going in, be taking your time interacting with things that are not the direct plot, you'll appreciate it later. One thing I like about how that's handled is if you have found enough evidence on one of these two mysteries to definitively have the proof needed to find the answer of who's involved, the game will simply tell you when you get to the point of, like, deciding people, the evidence you have is sufficient enough to point decisively at this person. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that clarity of, like, don't overthink it. You have enough evidence to point here. If you don't have enough evidence, it won't be an automatic fail. You can consider the evidence you have and make your best guess out of 4 or 5 suspects, and you might still get the good ending on that half. And I appreciate that not having enough evidence doesn't lock you out of pointing the finger at the correct person. I also am unclear how much this game is tracking and penalizing your use of the rewind power. There's a lot of sequences early on where rewinding and fucking around with time is mandatory. There seems to be no way to avoid doing so. But also there might secretly be a mechanic where you're being judged for how frequently you're rewinding things. And I don't know how to know when it's a choice that you can opt out of or when it's mandatory. So that's a little mechanically clunky. That being said, I enjoyed the way that Chloe integrated with the rest of the cast from Double Exposure. As someone who liked the controversial choice in Double Exposure, that if Chloe was alive, your romantic relationship with her would not have survived. I talked about this at the time. The two of them basically end up breaking up off-screen between games because Chloe is like, I know you have the ability to rewind time and I won't be aware if you've done it. I cannot feel confident that you're not just like rewinding every tiny little argument we have to get out of it. Or that you're not using your powers and then like hiding that from me, and that paranoia is making it really hard to be in a trusting romantic relationship with you. I like how that is explored in this, and that there is a tension between these characters based around it is hard to fully trust each other when one of us has this power imbalance. I'm a bit disappointed that they stopped it being broken up into chapters like a lot of the previous Life is Strange's, just because I appreciated those nice little stopping points and like percentages of how your choices compared to other people's. This is just one big chunk of game, which I didn't know going in. I had a good time with it. I'm glad I played it. I can understand why it's going to come across as cynical to some people. It's hard to know the development timelines, but I can sure see a world in which this became as much of a revisiting the relationship between Max and Chloe game as it did because of some of the responses to Double Exposure. And it's hard not to think about, is the pushback why this game is the way it is while playing it? I had a good time. I think it's probably time not to spend any more games with these characters. You played anything else this week?
Yeah, I went back to World War Z.
Oh, I did as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
I played that for the first time this week with Jane.
Cool. I like it a lot still.
Yeah.
I went back to it pretty much as I predicted in my review. I was like, yeah, when I next want a horde shooter of Toxic Commando, I'll probably just go back to World War Z because it's got way more to it. It's more robust. It's got more and more detailed class systems and weapons and progression and linear levels, which I think serve it way better than the open maps of Toxic Commando. So yeah, I still wasn't done wanting a good horde shooter, so yeah. I went back to World War Z, and it's still really, really good, I think.
I really, really enjoy it. I think that the almost like ocean-like waves of zombies give it a really unique feel. Being able to sort of prepare your base a bit and then just see, oh, down the hill is just thousands of enemies, and yeah, most of them are going to go down in like a bullet or two, but it gives it like a good frantic, I am under some pressure, I am up against the odds kind of vibe that I really appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Of Become Saber's stock and trade is I think they call it like, their engine is called the Swarm engine, and it is all about, because they did the Tyranids in Space Marine 2, and I think there was another one, but obviously they've done Toxic Commando as well, and that's very Swarm heavy. And it's still, this many years on, fucking impresses the hell out of me, those swarms.
Yeah. I enjoy the bits where you're going through in trying to be stealthy with your silencer, trying not to alert the hordes in the first place. Some of those levels have really interesting, unique gimmicks. Like, I was playing through the one where it's too cold outside, and you're having to, like, sprint as fast as you can to try and find the heaters. Like, that one feels, like, really, really novel and unique. Aesthetically, their level designs all stand out really nicely from each other.
Yeah.
It's a real nice one of these.
It's got a lot of thought going into it. I think my first view of it, I can't remember what I thought when I first played it. I think I may have been a little more tepid on it, of just like, yeah, it's all right. It's pretty fun. It's nice enough. The swarms are good. Then, around about COVID-y time, I got into it again and got obsessed. Like, I was fixated on it. And every now and then, I still dip back into it. I still enjoy going into it and playing through those levels, which are really the levels that you say. There's some fun gimmicks in them. I think they're really distinct. They stand out, which again, Toxic Commando, as I said in my review, highlights perfectly what made World War Z work by not doing what made World War Z work, and you really miss what that game has. The set-piece swarm battles in Toxic Commando are good, but they miss so much. They limit the preparations. You can do a lot more. For a big open map, Toxic Commando feels so much smaller than World War Z, so much more restricted, so much more repetitive. You'd think an open layout would lend itself well to a lot more sort of dynamic events and things spawning, like special locations turning up, but no, every mission feels the same. Whereas World War Z, a lot of things can feel different, and I like that it's broken up into these, very much like the World War Z book and that, like, it's broken up into these chapters that have a different set of 4 characters, and each series of levels tells their story, and then it moves on to another one. I really like how they do the class system in it. And yeah, I've been playing the PS5 redo. I enjoy that the special infected voices come through the DualSense. That's fun. Yeah, solid game. Really fucking good. And I've got to be careful because I've only just controlled the amount I'm addicted to Pokopia. I don't want to get too fixated, but it's just one of those games that I find so easy to dip back into and out of. The game came out in 2019, and here I am, like...
If you find yourself, like, at a weekend playing some and wanting some company playing it, me and Jane have been playing it at the weekends.
Certainly.
You're welcome to hop on and play with us if you like.
That would be fun. That would be fun, because, yeah, I enjoy that game a lot. I've put so many hours into it. Yeah, good. I would say this, like, the amount of hours I put into it, like, fixated, and over years of playing, I have mostly stuck with the medic class. I was actually surprised going back how little I touched the others. I'm trying to rectify that now by trying some of the others. But because of the way they do prestiging of classes, I'm still unlocking stuff for the medic, like in Prestige. Like, it's just gone on and on and on. You are not short of stuff to progress in that game. I maxed out the medic in Toxic Commando after, like, a couple of days at most. And I'm well on the way to maxing out another one. I maxed out the weapons that I was using, and there's so much to chew on with World War Z. And I love the level design of that game. I think they're really nicely designed levels, like, really considered for that type of subgenre. So yeah, World War Z, still going strong, and people are still playing it.
I get delighted anytime I get a chainsaw and zombies are up against the gate and I can just run in and start swinging it left and right wildly, having stuff fall off the gate on me.
All of the temporary heavy weapons. And going from Toxic Commando to this, it's stuck out just how generous World War Z is with them. You never feel like stuff's too awesome to use until the very end, because they'll litter, they'll sprinkle the heavy weapons throughout so that you get a chance to use them, which is what you want in a game, you know? You want to be able to use the toys. Yeah, I enjoy all of the heavy weapons in that game. Yeah, really good.
Yeah. What about you, comrade? You play anything else?
Nope, that's it. That's been my whole week. It's just Dragon Quest in my little gaps of time.
I got a couple of bits I can talk a little bit about. I've talked about this game before, but I mainly want to tell people it's out fully now, and I highly recommend playing it. I've been really digging what I've played so far. This is a roguelite called Raccoin. It's a coin pusher roguelite, where you are pushing coins into a coin pusher, trying to get them to fall off the bottom of the screen. You have different unique kinds of coins that you can get that will do different things that will interact with each other in certain ways. Like, there's the bunny rabbit coins that they'll hop and try and reach each other, and if they do, they make another bunny rabbit coin. Maybe you interact that with a wolf coin that will do something unique, but it will destroy your bunny rabbit coin, and now it's a poop coin, so it's not going to generate more rabbits anymore. All sorts of, like, unique different kinds of coins you can be pushing in. once you've pushed enough coins off, you can be purchasing not only more types of special coins to sort of fill that inventory up, but also trinkets that are going to give you unique, ongoing, long-term effects, or passive one-off items you can use. Try and get through a bunch of waves of increasing amounts of coins need to come off the bottom of the screen. It is fundamentally very different to other roguelites in that it is so...
Sorry if you're hearing that fucking flower. It just yelled that it was 3 p.m. I'm sorry, I wasn't being rude.
No, that's alright. It's good to have a reminder, and I'm glad it didn't lie about the time.
Yeah, got it right so far.
Where was I? Yes. No time pressure, no quick reactions to anything, because it's a coin pusher, so you're not doing, like, having to react to combat things. The challenge is never in the speed of your reactivity, which is going to be good for certain people. It is all physics handled in the ways that it's largely in your control where coins go, but it is a coin pusher, and fundamentally you are occasionally just going to be sat there going, that's bullshit, fall off the fucking thing. But there are mechanics in place to help if it's being a little bullshit. The speed of early unlocks for new types of coins is really rewarding. I'm very pleased with how quickly it's doling out new tools to be fucking around with. It's very tactile, just because of all the nice sound effects of when coins get pushed off the bottom of the screen. I've not had a huge amount of time. It came out yesterday, and so far I'm playing it and going, I enjoyed the demo. This is very much the same as the demo. This is going to be, I think, the roguelite that has my attention for a little while. I'm very glad this game is finally out. The other one that I've had a little bit of time to start playing around with is I got an invite to the closed alpha of Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core. So I've talked about Deep Rock Galactic before. This is first-person game where you go mining for resources, shoot bugs on alien planets as a bunch of dwarves. You've got various objectives to do. You can kind of take your time working through your objectives. It can be played in single player. It's better in co-op. Rogue Core is a more streamlined, combat-focused roguelite spin-off that still plays fundamentally the same as Deep Rock Galactic. You still are in first person, swinging an axe to mine your resources. Instead of having multiple kinds of resources to collect, there's now one kind of resource. If you collect enough of that resource, you and all of your team get upgrades that will spec out your character. There are hidden things to find that if you find them and bring them back to a workbench, you will get upgrades for your character. In Deep Rock Galactic, you have a character class, but your character class is basically, it just determines what starting weapon do you have and what traversal tool do you have. Here, you have a lot more variance even in your starting classes. I was playing around with a class called the Falconeer that shoots out like a robotic cyber falcon that can either be sent to fight enemies on your behalf or to revive a downed enemy for you if you can't get to them safely and do the revival. There was a really interesting character class that has a time rewind power, which is really interesting in a online multiplayer game with other people. You set down a object in the world, in a location at a set point in time, and then if before you die you activate this power, you get brought back to that physical location with the health and armor and ammo you had when you set the device down. So you can basically set a reset point to pull yourself back to. It's kind of interesting. On top of the fact that you are speccing your character and building them as you go. Much more of a focus on combat than standard Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic, the waves of enemies are things to complicate the quests you're going off on. Instead here, the big thing is there are going to be waves of enemies when you reach these sort of linear... You go through these linear paths, reach a big room, a big wave of enemies is going to arrive. The enemies are much more aggressive, they're much faster at making progress on you, they deal damage much quicker, your shields don't automatically regenerate anymore. It is very much focused on trying to find enough of these resources to level up, unlock upgrades, find synergies, be strong enough that when the next hyper-aggressive wave of enemies comes, you have a build that can survive it. The general idea is you're going through, like, 4 of these relatively linear tunnels, go down an elevator, keep going down. I've had a lot of fun. Lengthwise, it's about an hour to do a run, which I think for a multiplayer roguelite that you can't pause mid-run because you're with other people, that's a reasonable length, I think. I need to put more time into it. So far, I didn't expect it to feel as much like combat-focused, linear, standard Deep Rock Galactic as it has. I'm having a good time with it so far. I want to play more of it, but I've dipped my toes in. I'm excited to put a bit more time into it and talk about it a bit more next week. So yeah, that's everything I've played.
Yeah, the only other thing is just, still really glued to Pokopia. Phoenix has been making Rapture out of, slowly converting the SS Anne into Rapture. That's been fun to see. I hit the limit on pre-made homes, the ones with interiors in Pallet Town.
Oh, yes. I think it's 20 per area?
Yeah, I had to severely restructure the whole place. I'd planned for more homes like that. So I shifted stuff over, and now I've made an entire farm area, and I made a hot spring spa with a lovely Moroccan finish. I love it. I love how much one can do with it. I cannot say enough good things about it still. There are some issues that are cropping up now that I'm this far in. Like, it's a lot harder to get coins for the PC shop now, because I'm not completing challenges through story constantly. So I'm having to scrimp and save a bit there. And I think there need to be storage boxes with more space, because the biggest stress factor for the game now is trying to keep everything I have without just dropping it on the floor. I have so many big storage boxes, and they are all full. And I spent ages sorting through them, color coding them, having them organized, and now I need more. Also, I finally did the thing I really wanted to do, which was unfuck the power line system, including finding
yes.
the wireless power cubes I thought I'd cleverly built under prefabbed houses that I now can't reach, because I didn't realize that the power lines became bound to electrical devices, and they'd become this bound chain to the point where I did not realize, I couldn't work out why I couldn't connect any power source at all to newly built windmills, because they kept trying to connect to power sources nearby that were already in place. And it was like a fucking spider's web, trying to untangle it all. And eventually I just gutted the entire thing. And now that I've unlocked the portable generators, I just bury a generator and a power cube next to everything that I want powered on. So they have their one power source, and that's it. I feel like that could have been done a bit more elegantly in the game. And to be honest, I wish I'd unlocked the wireless stuff. I wish I'd had that before the power lines, because so much needed redoing once I had that. But there you are. I made a house of my own, and I like getting the pre-made houses that are made out of blocks, and then punching out the coloured blocks that I don't like and replacing them with ones I do, so that the actual structure of the house has been pre-made. And then I can punch it out and customize it how I want. So I've got these tower blocks that I've made that are painted with the Pokeball pattern blocks. And I took the two-tone blocks that served as accents on them and painted the top of those red and the bottom of them white, so they're Pokeball coloured. And they look lovely. And I love my little Pallet Town. It's criminal how much time I've spent in it. I need that time for important things. But I love the game. Really good.
Aww.
Fantastic.
Other than that, the only thing I've got to bring to the episode today is, I've been trying to dodge the internet as best I can because it's April Fool's, which is everyone just straight-faced tells lies day.
Yeah.
I don't find that fun. I will admit I did giggle a bit at one email I received from a video game PR company, simply saying, "Would you like to see Bubsy's feet pics?"
God, no.
So to promote Bubsy 4D that's coming this year, they launched a website called, what is it, Only Pause?
Oh, God.
Where you can go just look at a gallery of concept art of Bubsy's feet.
I'm ready to be done with life.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're ready to be done.
I'm done. Put a fork in me.
Did we do it?
We did
We
it.
did it.
Yeah. Good.
Steph, do the bit where you tell people to find us and stuff.
Well, Laura, Bubsy may be keen to get his feet out, but among your body of work, I don't think we've reached a point where foot pics are part of the menu.
Hey, if the money's right, hit me up.
If someone wanted to pay you for foot pics, where could they get in touch?
Look, I've had people reach out and ask for my foot measurements before in
wow.
DMs. People have tried, they were like, no, it's for non-suspicious reasons. Yeah, of course. You can find me in the stuff I'm doing at Laura K. Buzz pretty much everywhere on the internet. Patreon, that's the one that pays the bills. As little as $1 a month over there means I can keep doing all the stuff I do. What's going up this week? The same day as this goes up, there'll be a new episode of Where Everybody Has Gone Before, the podcast I do with Jeffrey Bunting, where we talk about randomly selected episodes of Star Trek. There's an episode of Accessibility going up this week, talking about gaming with Tourette's syndrome, which I've been wanting to do for a little while. I'm glad that we're finally getting that episode up. The day before this goes up, there will be an April 1st episode of Fix Your Heart or Die, the show in which I talk about the works of David Lynch and works inspired by David Lynch. Every year on April 1st, we pick a film that you might not have considered having Lynchian aspects to it. Last year, it was an animated Sonic the Hedgehog film from the 80s. This year, we talk about the Flintstones 1994 and how Carl McLaughlin's character in that is definitely Evil Coop from Twin Peaks. So tune in for an hour and a half to 2 hours of very serious discussion of how the Flintstones 1994 is definitely canon to Twin Peaks. That'll be up by the time you hit this. What about you, Conrad? Where are you out on the internet?
Showgirls would be another good candidate for that kind of interpretation.
Yep.
Yeah. You can find me at Conrad Zimmerman on Blue Sky, and you can hang out with me on Twitch at twitch.tv/thatconradzimmerman. I'm on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays. You can buy anti-capitalist propaganda and Jimquisition merchandise at mercenarycreative.com, and everything I do online gets supported through Patreon at patreon.com/fistshark. And you know who else has a Patreon? Stephanie Sterling.
Sometimes it's nice to space out.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's still talking. Shut up. Patreon.com/Jimquisition, which supports this podcast and the web series Jimquisition/iSteph, which had an episode that went up this past Monday.
Great video. Really good.
Thank you. It was called YouTube, the Online Predator's Best Friend, which is sort of a continuation of the one I did a while back about what YouTube and social media is doing to our vocabulary, our shared language, but really goes in on their latest bullshit, where they took my videos, some of my older videos about gambling, like in-game gambling, down because I dared to use the word gambling in the video title, and just how that only helps online gambling sites. And then I talk about, the various other bad actors that are explicitly protected by YouTube. And I'm very proud of the video, and I think it is a fairly important one. Other than that, I have reviews on thejimquisition.com, which is also supported. This weekend, I'll be in Manchester. If you look up pinfallwrestling.com, you'll be able to find details of my appearance with Pinfall Wrestling in Manchester. That will be the 4th of April, so check that out, April 4th. Other than that, you can check out my writing work in Vampire Survivors, Quantum Witch, and Date Everything. Plus, I will have some more news on writing projects coming in the near future. Thank you all so much for listening and for all of your support, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.